It's a big weekend for pro wrestling with tons of things happening, and we're going to talk about it on today's video. Don't forget, I'm giving away this championship belt at 100,000 subscribers, so go ahead and click subscribe today. All right, guys, I want to kick things off with ROH because there was some interesting debuts that took place at Saturday's ROH TV tapings. As you guys know, ROH tapes after AEW Collision on Saturday nights, and it turns out that fans in attendance had a lot to say because Devon Dudley, the WWE Hall of Famer, his sons, Terrence and Terrell Hughes, were in action at the ROH tapings. Now, they've actually worked in the past with AEW. They worked a couple matches from November 2020 all the way down to October of 2023. And look, this is like one of those things that I'm going to give AEW some credit. They have a very hot tag team division. There's been rumors for a while that Devon Dudley's sons potentially could land in WWE. And secondly, I know AEW doesn't have a developmental system, but if I was looking at bringing people in, I would use ROH as a developmental system. I would try to see, by putting people on the show, signing them to lower cost contracts, give them a chance to show what they can do, see if what they're doing is working, and then if they are building steam in ROH, call them up to AEW, and that could be Collision, Rampage, Dynamite. It should kind of be like a ladder system. And when I look at ROH, there are a lot of flaws with ROH, and I'm sorry, but I don't think ROH is a sustainable business model in today's current form because the product is hidden behind a paywall. And when you have a paywall and you don't really have anything exciting in ROH other than just good matches, people are not going to pay for the paywall, let alone the pay-per-view, let alone buying AEW pay-per-views and AEW's events and merchandise. There is just way too much happening in pro wrestling. It is very hard for people to sit here and shell out money for a brand that is pretty much non-existent. And I understand that ROH has a lot of history, and I understand that Tony Khan's investment into ROH is not that significant amount of money compared to what people initially thought. But I would use this as a system. Look at talent, see what they perform like, see if there is a way you can get them on your show, have them continuously wrestling on the show, and then if they catch steam, that's when you move them up to the roster. And I think that could be a really good benefit for AEW. They have a plethora of coaches and talent and agents and producers that can help develop talent. And yes, I'm sure some of these individuals are helping talent, but it's not a system. And I think that is one benefit that WWE definitely has with NXT. There is a system in place to help develop talent, and if I was AEW, I would do the same. WWE officials are reportedly very high on Kofi Kingston and Ivar. Fightful sources have come out and said that sources have indicated that both Kofi Kingston and Ivar had received high marks for their Raw matches as of late. Their first match came as a result of Eric being sidelined. Viking Raiders and New Day had been slated for a lot of time for their 2 out of 3 falls match. Instead of cutting it when Eric got injured, they just had Ivar and Kofi Kingston wrestle the duration of the scheduled time. And look, here's the thing, guys. This is a really, really good match. And I said this the other day. When Triple H took over creative, this is an example of WWE showing people and reconditioning fans to their specific fans, hey, wrestling still matters on our product. We're going to give you the storylines, we're going to give you the characters, but wrestling still matters. And when WWE gives two guys a chance to really go out there, and maybe they're not the biggest names, maybe they're not the biggest talent, but when you give them a chance, people will buy in. And people were already starting to enjoy the storyline between the Viking Raiders and the New Day. But when you do a singles match like this, instead of scrapping it, because the old version of WWE would have scrapped it. The old version of WWE would have said, oh, we'll just do the match another time. Maybe they never even get into it, right? By doing this, you're reconditioning your fans that, one, you're not dropping the storyline, you're not taking any side steps from the storyline, but also you're going to let these guys go out there and see what they can do. So I'm not shocked that WWE officials are actually happy with this, and I'm not shocked that fans are happy with this, because this match did get a lot of praise from fans on social media, and it got a lot of praise from fans in attendance. It was relatively clear by the crowd reaction. More things like this will help WWE start to earn a little bit more trust from the IWC. And I'm not talking about trolls, but I'm talking about the people that are on social media who are very passionate about wrestling and the wrestling aspect of things. These people love the character stuff and they love the storylines, but they want to see more wrestling. And if WWE continues to provide that, I think it is going to be a very big win for them. I also want to make it very clear. I thought this was an interesting concept. The Viking Raiders got something cool. WWE is starting to push them again. We know Eric is sidelined. I would not be opposed to the idea of WWE experimenting with Ivar going the singles route. I think there is a lot of potential there, and it's not going to shock me if WWE decides to go with this route of giving him a massive push, because if I were the WWE, I would try this out. And I think Eric and Valhalla could be something on a different roster, and I think Eric and Valhalla could be very successful on a separate roster. But I think the real money is actually with Ivar because of his size and his wrestling ability. So I'm curious to see which route they go. I know Triple H is starting to get tag team wrestling back in the picture. I don't like the idea of tag teams constantly breaking up, but this might be one scenario where it actually does make sense. And our final topic of today's video, guys, Sonny Kiss in TNA. It feels good to say TNA again. I know it's not official until January 2024, but Impact Wrestling moving forward on this channel will be referred to as TNA because that's the company. Sonny Kiss showed up, and much to everybody's surprise, Sonny Kiss absolutely killed it in the debut at the Call Your Shot Gauntlet match. Just incredible, right? The crowd reaction was great too. But now there is some clarification on Sonny Kiss being in Impact Wrestling or TNA. Yeah, God, that's gonna take a little bit of time to get used to that. So we all know Sonny Kiss left AEW. I want to say it was in about March, maybe roughly. I don't know. Maybe March was maybe a little bit after March. Whatever. Anyways, PW Insider has come out and reported that Sonny Kiss will be a regular going forward in TNA. They have no clarification if this means that Sonny Kiss has signed a full-time deal with TNA. There is no guarantee that this is a part-time deal. It could very well be a scenario where Sonny Kiss is working for TNA on a handshake deal per appearance deal. But the cool thing is, Sonny Kiss got a lot of love from fans on social media. And listen, Sonny Kiss didn't really have a chance to show anything in AEW. Now Sonny Kiss has a chance to show off in TNA. And you never know, it could lead to something really cool. At the end of the day, that's what makes TNA such a viable option. It gives people a chance to shine, and they don't have this massive bloated roster, and they don't have problems with getting people on TV and developing stories. That's one of the biggest positives about TNA is that there's no centerpiece to the roster. Everybody sticks out on its own, and I want to see what Sonny does. And you got to keep in mind, too, like TNA brought in a couple other appearances at Bound for Glory, right? Juventud Guerrera came in, Matt Cardona came in. You never know what the scenario might be here, but I want to see them bring more people in. I want to see how this roster shapes up by the time they fully launch at Hard to Kill. I think it's going to be very significant for the company if they are able to do something where they bring in some notable names, they bring in some talent who may not be the most popular and the most famous, but they're quality talent. Give people a chance to see them and then make a decision from there. Nonetheless, I think this is massive. Wrestling is so freaking awesome right now. I love talking about it, and I love interacting with you guys. So don't forget, I got Discord in the description if you guys want to join. And don't forget, I'm giving away this championship belt at 100,000 subscribers. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.